we have Korn Ferry Tour final stage this week. We've got, if folks recall, really we've kind of highlighted this over the last couple of years because our dear Alistair Docherty, who a couple years ago had absolutely nowhere to play, started at first stage of Q school, made it all the way through first stage, barely made it through second stage. A couple bogeys late by some other players got him through to final stage. Then he finished in the top 40, got his Korn Ferry Tour card for 2023. And then, he played right on the edge, didn't quite finish high enough to have his full status. So he started again, first stage, second stage, and then got to third stage at the end of last year and shot, I think, 78 in the first round and was like second or third or fourth from last place, and then beat everybody but one person in the field on the final 3 days and vaulted his way all the way up to like 20 something or 30th to get his Korn Ferry Tour card for this entire year. Then finished second in the Myrtle Beach event when he got a sponsor's exemption for $350K, and then finished one putt away from getting his PGA Tour card and finishing in the top 30 on the Korn Ferry Tour. There's 5 PGA Tour cards up for grabs. So there's 171 players in the field. Alistair has pretty much full status on the Korn Ferry Tour all of next year based on how high you finished. So at minimum, he's going to have the same playing sort of opportunities this year that he's had the last couple of years. But if he finishes inside the top 5 and ties, I saw top 5 and ties get their PGA Tour card for all of next year, which would get him into pretty much everything except for the elevated events, depending on how many people play. But he would most likely get into like the Phoenix Open and just a bunch of really awesome events if he can finish inside the top 5 and get his PGA Tour card. And there's 170 other players that are playing in the field that are playing for their entire livelihood. Some of them are similar to Alistair's boat. And I saw that's actually is on television. So Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Golf Channel Digital, and then from 3 to 5 Eastern on Golf Channel, and then Sunday from noon to 2 p.m. on Golf Channel Digital, and then 2 to 4 p.m. on Golf Channel is kind of how they're going to broadcast all that shaking down, which if you've been educated upon it, which is a hard learning curve, but if you have been educated upon it, it is some of the most riveting TV in golf that you can watch, because instead of playing for a difference of a couple $1 million and a little bit of a legacy jump here or there, they're playing for literally going back and caddying at their local club or becoming an assistant coach in a high school golf team for the rest of their life to like maybe making their dream come true and playing on the PGA Tour or Korn Ferry Tour. So very good stuff to watch this weekend going into Korn Ferry Tour final stage.
Oh, Alistair, I can't imagine showing up to a golf event and knowing you got to be in the top 5. That's just such a daunting thing. I mean, he doesn't have to be. Still has a good year next year, but you want to be. Like he's probably really.
It's the only thing he's playing for. It's the only thing he's playing for. Right. Like 6th place or worse does nothing for him this week. So like literally nothing. Doesn't really change anything about his life. So he's been gearing up. He's been all locked in. He's been working out nonstop, taking his body incredibly seriously. He's been seeing Short Game Guy, working with his swing coach. He hasn't touched alcohol in several months. So he's just been all locked in and focused on trying to get his PGA Tour card. So a huge week for our guy. Same venue that they played at last year. So he's been there in tournament conditions before, and hopefully he plays great. Worst case scenario, he finishes 6th or worse, and he's got full access on the Korn Ferry Tour all year next year. I'm sure he'll get another exemption into, maybe Myrtle Beach or a couple of tour events and keep kind of chasing the dream. So go Alistair, go. There's a bunch of friends of the program that are there that have, kind of playing for their careers. So we'll highlight a lot of that on social and follow all that. But Korn Ferry Tour final stage, big pressure, big career. That difference between playing on the PGA Tour and being a solid Korn Ferry Tour player, we all know, we've played with guys that are on both sides of that, is minuscule. It's like a putt here or there over the course of months of competitive golf. And so yeah, a lot on the line for them.